And this recording, I'll make it available after the meetup's over. So I'll share a link to the recording. We can go and download it. And that'll be helpful if you want to be able to re-see things that we've done, things that I've talked about, and things that I've shared during the recording, then you can go and watch it. I'll leave that up there for about a week or so before I take it down. And I just want to run some quick polls. Just I found with the last meetup that people were still sort of logging in after about 10 minutes or so, and it wasn't my fault that time. I did give the right link. So I'll just do some quick polls again so that we can get a bit of a gauge on people's familiarity with some of the tools and stuff. So we might start with Jira first. And just to get a bit of a sense on people's familiarity with Jira, how often they've used it, whether you're new to Jira, you're an experienced user and you use it sort of every day, whether you might be a project administrator, or whether you might be a system administrator. You could be off the charts. I haven't got an option there for people who've written plugins before and that sort of stuff as well. So it's another option. And I'll just give that another 30 seconds or so. Okay. So I've got a few who are project administrators, a couple who are experienced users, and a few who are new to Jira. Yep, so it's a pretty good spread. Last time I think we had a few more who are brand new to Jira. Just one more there. Okay, so I'll end that now. And I'll share these results with you. So most in the call are project administrators and a few who are new to Jira. This information will help with shaping up the way that we do these meetups in the future. We might have some that are sort of aimed at people who are new to Jira, some that are more experienced. Some of the people who are new to Jira might like sitting in on the calls or the meetups that are going through some of the more advanced sort of stuff. But they might also like some meetups that are just targeted to them where they can feel more comfortable about asking questions and that sort of stuff. Okay. Let's do the next poll here. Okay, the next one here is just about your Zoom experience. There's a lot of people who sit on Zoom 8 hours a day now and get Zoom exhaustion. So that might be your answer, or you might be brand new to Zoom as well. And with this, with Zoom or any of the other tools that we're quickly talking about, if you need any help, please message me and I'll be very happy to do a one-on-one and give you some assistance. But it looks like everybody's pretty comfortable with Zoom here. Just two more people to show me there. Just give it another couple of seconds. Okay. I'll share those results. And most are comfortable with Zoom or have set up meetings and that sort of stuff. So I don't need to worry about that one. Okay, 3. Okay, the next tool is Slack. Now, this meetup is around Jira and Confluence and using it, but we might use some tools to help with the collaboration. So there might be, I've set up Slack for people to be able to communicate after. That's where Jose, thank you, just posted a message with the right link to this meetup in there. And that's an opportunity for people to collaborate, ask questions of each other, ask questions of me, perhaps make suggestions for meetups and that sort of stuff. So in between meetups, to keep the momentum going really, and the networking and the connection. Okay, so I've got 6 out of 10 there who've shown their usage of Slack. If the others could just add their vote as well, please. That'd be great. And the first option there, what's Slack, is a perfectly fine answer as well. I'll just give it another couple of seconds. Cool, I'll leave it there. Okay, so it's about 50-50 between using Slack a little bit and being comfortable with Slack. So with the Slack channel that I've set up, if you'd like to be added into that, we had about a dozen people added from the last meetup. Please feel free to just send me an email and I'll add you into the Slack channel. Okay. And the next one is Miro. I'm not using Miro today, but maybe for future sessions we might. So Miro is sort of like an online whiteboard. You can post notes on there. You can use it as a presentation like PowerPoint. You can do video hosting in there as well, and all sorts of stuff. You can integrate it into Jira and Confluence. So if you did some brainstorming in there and you want to load that data up into Jira, you can do that as well. So it's pretty cool. So I've just got another 3 votes to go there. So just give it another few seconds. And for those who haven't seen Miro before, I've got some links and stuff that will come after as well, so you can go and look at some quick videos and that sort of stuff. And I'll share this slide deck as well, which has got the links in it after the meetup. Okay. I've also got a bit of an easy even spread there. So what's Miro? It's sort of evenly balanced with, I've seen Miro used in meetings before, and a couple have used Miro before. Okay. Oops, stop sharing results. And the last one is just about Confluence. So if you can just give your indication here, it might be different to Jira, right? There might be some people who've been using Jira before and haven't used Confluence. And there might be others who've used Confluence a lot and not Jira so much. Okay, let's give that another couple of seconds. And it looks like most are new to Confluence, so that's cool. And this will, again, this will help shape the focus of future meetups as well, or the balance between sort of new to Jira, new to Confluence, and that sort of stuff too. All right, awesome. I'll share the results. Okay, cool. All right, thank you for doing that. That will really help. We've got some good data from emails, thanks Jose, and there are others who are emailed as well after the previous meetup for feedback. We've got some idea boards that we'll run as well for some suggestions and what people would like to get out of the meetups. And also, what was the other thing? Oh, these polls and other data as well. Chat in the chat window if you want to talk to each other as well. Oh, that's good. I can see that people have already started chatting in there. The chat also helps me to have a bit of an understanding about what's important to people, and that's really important. So thank you. All right, so we'll get underway. So welcome was the first thing I want to say. The high level agenda, I'm just going to give a bit of an introduction and overview about myself and the sort of the vision for the meetup. It really is a global meetup. I'm honoured really and humbled by the people who've signed up to the meetup and from where they're from and the backgrounds that they're from. That's really cool. We've got some useful references there that I'll share. Jira and Confluence learning path and sort of my thoughts, I guess, on how people might learn and the different paths which might then shape the meetups. We're going to use Jira to run through our agenda in a minute. And we'll talk about some meetup preferences and interests on one of those idea boards. We can try out Jira, and I'll talk more about that. And then where to from here? What's the next thing? So the first thing is, it's an honour to have you here. There are over 200 people who've signed up to this meetup. I thought maybe I might have had half a dozen that'd show up, and to have people from all over the world jump into this is awesome. The intention of this meetup is to support those primarily who are suffering from COVID. Either they've been impacted themselves, they know a family member that's been impacted, or a friend, perhaps they've lost a loved one. Maybe they're just worried about their job. Maybe they're thinking, well, I need to know some more skills so that I can get back into the workforce. They might have been unemployed for a while and might be unsure about where to start with their learning, or might be finding it difficult to get motivated. So really that's the primary driver here. And that community of 200 plus people, especially through Slack and through meetups and chatting and that sort of stuff, if we can help just one or two to make their lives a bit easier, reduce their stress and make them feel a bit less isolated, that's what it's really about for me. The added bonus is everybody gets to learn Jira, so that's cool. So who's this guy? Who am I? With a surname like Casanova and used to sell cars and that sort of stuff, you know, it all sounds a bit dodgy, but I've been in software for about 20 years now, after I sold cars, but that's another story. And I've been in agile for about the last 4 or 5 years, and I came to that from after being in a people leadership position. So I sort of came to agile back the front. My inspiration was a Russian guy who was dying from cancer, and he was the first Scrum Master that reported to me. And he was, you know, people have asked me in the past, who's my hero? And I think it's definitely that guy, Alex Ivanov. I met him at the Blood Service when I was working there, a not-for-profit organisation, which is a bit like Blood Source in America. And Alex emulated to me or demonstrated to me the epitome of what I would see as a Scrum Master and somebody with an agile mindset. So that sort of got me on my agile learning journey, I suppose, and helped me to understand the style of leadership and management that I wanted to demonstrate as well, and how I wanted to model myself. So why this meetup? Well, I've talked a little bit about COVID and my motivation for it. So I think that sort of covers that off. What is the motivation, as we said, about COVID and helping people? What's with the redwoods and the kittens? So I've started a website now. My tendency usually is to be a bit of a perfectionist, and I naturally hold back on jumping into things until everything's just right. These meetups, I've kind of jumped in before I was fully prepared. This one I think is a little bit more polished and prepared than my first one. At least I got slides this time. And the website, I started up a website, integrityworks.com.au. I've been thinking about it for a long time. And it's just got some templated stuff in there. So if you see the kittens, it's just the template that I've used. The kittens will go. The redwoods, for me, I love, I was going to say I love making things grow, but I've realized that I love seeing things grow. None of us can make something grow, right? Whether that's people or it's trees or whatever. And the redwoods to me symbolize something that starts off so small, but it's got an objective, it's got a mission, and it never gives up. And so on the website and on the meetup, there's a picture of the massive redwoods and looking up, and the little one, which is us just getting started. But through starting, we can all become something great, right? Okay, so Jira dashboard demo. So I'm going to just stop sharing for a second. Actually, I'm going to pause. There's my pause share. Just going to pause sharing for a second while I just get it organized here. Up. Okay, and I will change which screen I'm sharing. Just bear with me a second. Okay. So as I said, I had, there's over 200 people who've joined up. When I created this dashboard in Jira, so what you're looking at now for people who are new to Jira is a dashboard there. And at that point, I had 178 people who'd joined up, and I thought, I'd really like to know where's everybody from and what's their background? You know, are they sort of in consulting, or are they in marketing, etc.? And where's the interest in Jira coming from? I'm just going to refresh this because one of the heat maps needs to reload. Okay, so I loaded up the members, de-identified of course, into Jira, and had a look on LinkedIn at people's backgrounds, where they're from, and that sort of stuff. Not in a creepy way. I just wanted to know, what the basis is there. And I thought, well, I can use this data to start demoing some of the functionality in Jira. And so what we're looking at here is a dashboard. And we can create dashboards from filters, and they're quite rich, and I've just got a few samples of different gadgets in the dashboard here. So the first one, we're looking at where people are predominantly from. We've got people in Australia. That makes sense because most of my contacts are over here, but we've also got people from Canada, England, Germany, India, Nepal, New Zealand, Nigeria, Peru, Philippines, Portugal, Scotland, Singapore, Sweden, and the USA. And there might even be more countries now since this last week. And to me, that's really humbling that we've got people from all over the world joining us and participating. It's brilliant. And also Linda, and I know a lot of other people as well, it's perhaps not necessarily a convenient time frame or time zone for you, time slot. So thank you for staying up late or getting up early, wherever you are. Anywhere on the dashboard that you see a hyperlink, you can click on it, and it will run a query in Jira. In future meetups, I'll go through how to write queries and how to export data and all that sort of stuff. But just to give you a bit of a sense of the mechanics and what's behind it, right? So we've got JQL, Jira Query Language, which is a little bit like SQL, which just says where we want to pull the data from. And then we've got the rows of data down here. So I just wanted to quickly show that. And we'll look at that more in future sessions, and I can certainly help people one-on-one with that as well. But again, anywhere that you see a hyperlink in a dashboard, you can click on it. So the 178 values or issues down here, you can click on that and that'll run the query for the whole lot. The next heat map there is by business domain. So we've got people from automotive, charity, consulting, data analytics, education, entertainment, finance, government, health, infrastructure, insurance, language services, logistics, marketing, recruitment, retail, software, sports, telecommunications, and tourism. The none is just where I couldn't find people on LinkedIn, or wasn't sure which one it was. So that's where the none came from. The next one there is by role. So we've got a lot of agile coaches, business analysts, and scrum masters, and people in those roles are probably fairly familiar with Jira already. They might not have necessarily have been Jira administrators, but they've probably used Jira a fair bit in their day-to-day work. It's really interesting. We've also got general managers, group managers, head of sales. We've got project coordinators, process analysts, people from, there's another one I was looking for. There's designers and all sorts, there's different things, right? And that's exciting too, that there are people from a big, broad range of roles who've got an interest in Jira and Confluence as well. So it's really cool. Next one's just a pie chart, same sort of data, but just demonstrating the different types of data, different breakdowns that you can have. And another gadget, same filter, again, just by a different look and feel. So this one's issue statistics. So again, we can see there's lots of consulting, lots of finance. And then the last one is a two-dimensional filter. So you can set up data in a 2D grid. Again, anywhere there's a hyperlink, you can click on that. So if you said, all right, I want to know who the two people are from India, if I hadn't de-identified the data, who the two people from India are who are agile coaches, or who the one from Nepal is, who's a project manager, for example. So essentially, Jira is just a database, right? And you can do all that sort of stuff with it, which is pretty cool. Okay. Now I'm just going to jump back into PowerPoint for a second. Okay. Rightio. I'll just have a quick look at the chat. Let's see. Sorry, I just lost my chat window for a minute. It's all right, I'll come back to it later. I just wanted to see if I was missing anything that anybody was saying. There it is, okay. Interesting, right. Okay, so just had a message there about how to send a request for assistance. Yeah, for sure. You can either send me a LinkedIn message if you like, or I'm just going to put in here my email address. If I can type properly. Okay, so you can either message me on LinkedIn if you want some help with something. You can send me an email directly, paul.casanet. Oh, actually, it's paul@integrityworks, beg your pardon. That's integrityworks.com.au. Try that one as well, and you can get in touch with me that one. All right, so Jira and Confluence references, again, I'll share this slide deck with everybody. There's an overview of Jira. I think most in here were experienced Jira users, but I'll put this on Meetup because there's quite a number who haven't used Jira before. So the Atlassian page, Jira is made by Atlassian. So the Atlassian page has got an overview of Jira, and then there's a more detailed page which has got guides, some videos, documentation on getting started and that sort of thing. Again, there's no such thing as a silly question, right? So please feel free to ask me or anybody on the Slack channel if you get registered on Slack, any question. You don't have to go and hunt for it yourself. These are there if you'd like to have a look. Confluence is an overview page there as well, and Confluence features is another one there too. And collaboration tool references. So Zoom, there's videos, lots of videos on using Zoom, but there's a quick one there. Miro, there's an introduction to Miro, and Slack, there's another one as well. So you could watch those in your own time if you like to. we're going to use ideas board for brainstorming, idea board, sorry, for brainstorming and feedback. And we'll do this one at the end of today. These are very easy to use, so you can just click on a plus button and add a post-it note in. There are some issues with it, like if people want to vote on things, they can vote repeatedly if they want to skew the figures and that sort of stuff, but they're quite easy to use. We can do the same sort of functionality in Miro as well, but for today we'll just use idea boards, and then in future meetups we'll use Miro instead. So once you create an item, then you can either vote on somebody else's if there's one there that you like, etc. Miro, I think I said earlier, Miro is essentially an online whiteboard collaborating tool, and it's really, really powerful. It's got lots of stuff that you can do. It comes with a whole heap of different templates, and we can explore that at a different time and through that video. But it's a really awesome tool as well that we can use. Slack, for people who haven't used Slack before, it's another online collaboration tool. And we've started getting people signing up in our Slack channel, where we can discuss the meetups that are coming up, suggest things you can do, thumbs up for things that are that people want to have discussed in meetups or talked about and that sort of thing. You can also direct message people. So if members of the community are signed up to Slack or registered on Slack, then you can message each other too. So it's good that way as well. Okay, so I just wanted to talk quickly about the Jira and Confluence learning path. So you've probably seen this model before, where on one axis we've got increasing competence, and on the other one we've got increasing consciousness or awareness. And when we learn a new job or any new skill, we start off at level 1, where we're unconsciously unskilled. We don't know what we don't know. Level 2, we're consciously unskilled. We start to get some awareness, and this might be like an L plater or somebody who's just got their license for America, 16-year-olds out on the road. Actually, I think it's earlier than that. The people can start driving with the parent. But when you first start learning something, you've got, okay, indicators on, now I start turning the wheel, and then I push the pedal and all the rest of it. The next step is consciously skilled, where things start to become a bit more autopilot, but we've still got to be mindful of what we're doing. And do it deliberately. And then level 4 is unconsciously skilled, where it moves to our basal ganglia in our brain out of our prefrontal cortex, and it becomes much more efficient to do that process. So that's really our comfort zone. For Jira and Confluence with learning, we're going to have people who are at level 1, right? And we're going to support them through that and encourage them. We're going to have people who are at level 2. These might be the ones who are using Jira day to day as users, maybe writing some filters and that sort of stuff. We're going to have level 3 who are project administrators. They would give people access to Jira projects. They would configure the board, that sort of stuff, maybe start sprints, stop sprints, that sort of thing. And then we'll have level 4 who are the system administrators, people who want to get into creating workflows. Maybe some people are off the charts, like writing plugins and all sorts of stuff like that. But my hope would be that we'll together help everybody to progress through this learning journey, right? And if we can structure the meetups in a way that support people being able to do that at every level that they're at, that would be absolutely brilliant. Okay, so let's jump into Jira. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and move that over there for a second. Okay, we'll do our agenda. And we'll just see if there's any. Okay, I've got my chat window up here. So if you've got any questions about what we're going through, just ping in the chat and I'll have a look from time to time. Okay, so for those who haven't seen Jira before, this is Jira Cloud. So it's hosted on Atlassian's cloud site. We'll go through the detail, perhaps the next beginner meetup that we do. I might schedule one for next week. We can go through menu items at the top and the items down the left, etc. So this is just to give you a feel for it today, okay? Some people will be familiar with Scrum and Agile in general. Other people will be brand new to it. But our agenda today, we're going to do that as a sprint. So I've just clicked on the Create Sprint button. When sprints first are created, they're empty. And we have a backlog down here below. So a backlog is a list of everything that, that can be done for a team or a product. And we're going to go, so I'm going to drag down here and start adding things into the sprint. We've done the quick polls. I'll update that in a minute. We've done the quick Zoom overview. We've done the introduction and vision. We've demonstrated the dashboard. We'll do a quick look at the ideas board. The Jira and Confluence learning path we've had a talk about. The Meetup Jira project, which is what you're looking at now. We'll talk more about that. The Meetup Confluence space, we'll show you how to jump into Confluence. I'll get you to try logging into Jira with a shared user ID. I want to talk about offering free support hours. We'll do a quick retrospective at the end, and then a bit more of a chat about Slack collaboration and support. Okay, so there's our content for our first sprint, and I'm going to start that sprint in a second. The other items that you can see down here, we've got some from people who tried logging into Jira last time, and I'll talk more about that in a minute, but that's what these ones are. Okay, so I'll start this sprint. We're going to say that it's going to be a week. Okay, so on this screen here, you can give a sprint a name. You can set how long it's going to be. So 1 week, 2, 3, 4 weeks, or a custom time. I'm just going to go with a week here. You can modify the start, and for custom, you can modify the end date as well. And you can set a sprint goal. This is getting into agile more than Jira specifically, but we can talk on some of these topics in future ones as well. Just mindful, we've got 25 minutes left now. So I'll start that sprint. Okay, after we start a sprint, we get into this sprint board. Now, can I just confirm everybody can see the Jira screen here? Just give me, yep, cool. Okay, and in here we've got default columns. So I've got to do, in progress, and done. Sometimes this is referred to as a Kanban board, task board, sprint board. It all means the same thing. So the quick polls while people are joining, I'm going to click that and drag it across to done. Okay, so in this board, you can just click and drag items from one status to another. Quick Zoom overview, we did that one, so I'm going to move that one across to the right. And you would notice that as I drag it, the background turns green on the column that it can drop into. So the one to the left in progress is blue at the moment. I move it across and it turns green. So I'm going to move that to done. Introduction and vision, we've done that bit. The dashboard demo, we've done that. A quick review of the first ideas board, we'll do that now. And I set this one up a couple of weeks ago to get a bit of an idea of what people would like to see in the meetup. What's their preferred format and agenda? And I'll share the link to this one as well. This might be a bit hard to see. Actually, I'll put that in chat now, so you can open it on your side as well. And I started creating a few things in here that I thought people might want to see. So, for example, as a beginner, I want to have separate beginner and advanced meetup sessions so that I feel comfortable in asking questions at my level. So 14 people voted for that. As a beginner, I want to see advanced topics also discussed and demonstrated so that I can see what else Jira can do. Quite a few votes for that. As an experienced user, I want to listen into beginner questions and demonstrations so that I can contribute and help out. So that's awesome. As an experienced user, I want to attend meetup sessions specifically focused on advanced topics so that I can use my time effectively. And what was I going to say? Just on this, there's no limit to the number of meetups that you can attend, right? So as a beginner, if you want to sit in on the advanced ones as well, that's awesome. There's no charge for it. This is completely free of charge. Okay, as a meetup attendee, I want to see PowerPoint slides. Yeah, I've got them this time, so that I can get some contextual information explaining Jira functionality and concepts. As a meetup attendee, I only want to see functionality demonstrated in Jira so that I can get into it and just try it out, etc. I'll let you read these in your own time, and you can. I'll share that link separately after the meetup's finished as well. So there's a preferred meetup format, Jira topics of interest, Confluence topics of interest, and other topics of interest as well. And if you want to add anything here, just click on the plus button. It'll just create a sticky, and then you can just start typing in there. So if I hit escape, but it should get rid of that one. Or if you want to get rid of something, you can either edit it, just click on it and change what you've got in there, or you can bin it. I'd please ask that you don't bin anybody else's posted though. All right, so that's our ideas board. Question there, are the numbers votes for the card? Yes, they are. So for example, this swim lanes one down here can be detrimental or beneficial to prioritization. If I wanted to vote for that one, just click on the number. I'll click on that actually. It'll update it. Yep, so you can do it that way. Okay, cool. Any other questions? No, all good. Okay, so that's our first ideas board. I'd encourage you, this is anonymous as well, right? So I'd encourage you to put anything on here that's important to you. And this will be up here for weeks. But if you can jump on after this session, have a think about how you would like to do these meetups and what would be helpful for you. Really, that's what's really important to me about this, right? So yeah, if you can jump in and share your thoughts and ideas, that'd be great. Okay, the Jira and Confluence learning path, we talked about that one. Now these swim lanes that we can see here, the first one is connections. The next one is concepts. And then we've got concrete practice and conclusions. I heard recently, and I know Linda, you're familiar with training from the back of the room, and others might be as well, but I heard recently about this concept called training from the back of the room, which ties into how people learn and practicing things and repeating spaced repetition so that you can learn. So these swim lanes here correlate to the 4 different sections of training from the back of the room. So connecting people with each other and with the information they're going to learn. Getting familiar with the concepts that are actually going to be taught. Concrete practice is about actually being able to jump in and have a go. And that's why I've set up this Jira project. And then conclusions, so wrapping it up and closing it out as well. Okay, so the Meetup Jira project. I've set up this project and I'll share this in the board now. In the chat, just bear with me a second. Need to be able to get to, there is OneNote. Okay. So I'm just going to paste in the chat. Okay, so there's a link to this board and there's a user ID that everybody can use. So it's meetup.user@integrityworks.com.au. And the password there, it's getting started, ! with a 1 on the end. After the last session, it got locked out, so I just changed the password. So if you happen to get locked out or you can't get in, please just message me, either via LinkedIn, email, or through the Meetup. You can send a message in the Meetup as well, and I'll change the password and just let everybody know. But I wanted to set up these spaces. So I've got my own Integrity Works Atlassian Jira and Confluence instances, and it doesn't cost me anything, right? So up to 10 people, I can give access to them. And so this user ID is one of those licenses where people can come and log in and don't worry about breaking anything. I can take backups of the data and that sort of stuff. But you can practice creating a task or a user story and moving things around on the board. Please feel free to do that. If you create your own task and you want to add it into the sprint and then you want to move it around, you can try that out. You can try assigning it, editing, all that sort of stuff. But really, concrete practice is what's going to help you with learning. So by providing this Jira project and a Confluence space where you can play around in here, it gives you the opportunity without having to sign up to Atlassian to try that out. Just on that, Atlassian now are offering Jira and Confluence for free also. So you can get your own Jira space, Jira project or Jira instance and Confluence instance where you can create projects and spaces and be a system administrator and that sort of thing in there. So once you're familiar enough with Jira and you feel comfortable, I can certainly help you with that too. So just let me know if you need any help setting that up or information on it. So could I get people to start trying to log in? Okay, Ignacio, what are you seeing there? If you can just let me know. Okay. Now I might try, perhaps I'll demonstrate logging in. So I'm just going to log out from my user ID for a second. If you've got another Atlassian account, then you will need to switch accounts. So if you've got one that's tied to your Gmail or something like that, then you'll need to try a different one. So let me, let's paste in here. So you'll get this login screen first, and just going to put the password in here. And that's the password out of the chat. And then that should take you, drum roll, okay, should take you to this screen here. So I've just logged in now as the Meetup user. Okay, incorrect user. Try a different account. Okay, yeah, it's only, so I need to give people access to this Jira project. So if you use a meetup.user at integrityworks.com.au user, then that will have access to this Meetups project. Otherwise, if up to 10 people, if you'd like to have your own user ID added in so that you can log in with your existing Atlassian account, I can do that. I will need to change my projects though. This one is Jira Premium on trial. And so it's got some advanced roadmaps, which is something we can talk about in a future session, but they're changing the licensing model soon. So if I go above 10 people, it's going to cost me $14 a month per person for more than for that. So there's a limit on what I can do here. Ignacio, are you logged in now? Okay, maybe I can help you directly after if you like to get in. And for anybody else who's having any troubles logging in as well, just let me know and I can help you to get in there. We can just do a one-on-one meetup or Zoom or something like that. I'll just go back into my account. And we'll just do a drum roll here. I had issues with my internet yesterday. Hopefully it's all good today. Okay. Going to okay, it's looking better. Sure, welcome back indeed. Okay. And from here, okay, I'm just going to navigate back to the project that we were looking at before. So it was Meetups. Okay. And all right, so we're looking at our active sprint. So that was the Meetup Jira project. And again, if anybody's having any trouble or just wants a hand with logging in later, just let me know and I'll help you. The Meetup Confluence space, at the moment that's empty as well. So you can get to Confluence from the top left-hand side in the screen here by just clicking on switch to. And then there's Confluence there. So I'll move across there. And it's probably going to show me all sorts of different things. So you can go to Meetup space. Okay, and when you log in with that user ID, you'll just see this one. But in here, again, you can create pages, and you can try this out right between now and the meetups too. The next meetup when we go through this sort of stuff. Feel free to create pages, create a blog, add shortcuts and all that sort of stuff in here as well. There'll be some limits on what you can do, so space settings you won't have access to, but you can certainly go ahead and create stuff and try it out. Okay. All right, so the try and log in to Jira, that was a concrete practice. I'm going to put that in progress for now. And between this meetup and the next one, okay. Okay, Ignacio, are you in now? Yep, awesome. And did I say your name right? Close enough. Okay, cool.
It's Ignacio, but pretty close.
Ignacio, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
No worries. Okay, so that's concrete practice. So we'll come back to that one offline. And just in the conclusion, so I'm mindful that we've got 10 minutes left here, and the time really does go really fast when we're doing this. So going back to the COVID situation, and just for people who are new and getting started and everything else, and this meetup being completely free, I'm more than happy to give some free support hours to people, right? Especially those who are struggling. So I'll give up to 5 hours a week. If I go more than that, I'll just have to check in with my wife and kids, make sure that they're still happy. But if you want to have some one-on-one sessions, then I'm happy to give, up to an hour each per week to walk through stuff. It could be like logging in. It could be, hey, can you go back over that thing? Whatever it might be. Okay, so there's no obligation with that whatsoever. Please feel free just to reach out. And you might say, well, Paul, why are you doing this? Well, this is good practice for me with learning with Zoom and hosting meetups and all that sort of stuff. So me helping you gives me an opportunity to help me in my career as well. So please don't feel hesitant or obligated if you reach out for help. I'd love to help. So that's that one. A quick retro. Now, I'm going to copy another link here to an ideas board. Okay. So if you can just take a couple of minutes to think about, and again, this is to do with the learning too, right? Space, repetition, and recall and everything. And this will get you off on your way to learning about Jira and Confluence and practicing and thinking about, okay, what were the things that that helped me, and what were the things that I'd like to see next time? It could be something that Paul's missed, or it could be something that that you've had an inspiration in, and you'd like to see something new in the next one. So if there's any highlights to you from today's session, if you can just click on the plus there and write, you can still see my screen, right? Yep, cool. So click on the plus and add a post-it in if there's something that sort of stood out to you. If there's something that I missed, or if there's something that you'd like to see in the next ones, click on the plus there and add a card in there. And yeah, I'm going to give a +1 to that one. More organised session compared to last one. Yeah, thank you. I know it seems crazy. I'm between contracts at the moment. You'd think I'd have plenty of spare time, but I've kind of gone crazy on lots of different training. The meetup, I've been spending a lot of time on Zoom and just getting my head around different things and ideas. A bit of consulting work on the side as well, and some other stuff that I'm working on too. So it's actually been really, really busy, which is awesome. I've really enjoyed my time so far. So this really gives us an opportunity also to work out where to from here. And this is your meetup, right? It's not my meetup. This is for all of you, and then everybody else who are members as well, on what you would like to see. And the feedback that you give will help me with shaping up for everybody else who hasn't been to a meetup yet, right? So if you're thinking, wow, I'd really like to see dashboards, or I just want to see the basics and go through slowly on what's a project and what are the menu options and all that sort of stuff, that's perfectly fine, right? And that will help me with setting the right tone and structure for the meetups in the future. And back to that learning path, I've been thinking, well, maybe we could have a few different types of meetups. There could be one that's focused on people who are really just getting started and just want to take it slow and try some stuff out and ask some questions back and forth and that sort of thing. Might be another one where people want to see project configuration. Well, how do I change the color of a card in the backlog based on when its due date is, or something like that, right? Now, how did I get to the July 10th board? Now, the one we're looking at now, is that the one? Yep. So if you just click on that link there. Sorry, I should have explained. I'll put the link in the chat, which should take you to this board. Yep, cool. Okay. So this board will be upright. It's not just during this meetup, it's after as well. So after we finish the call, if you've got some thoughts about, I'd really like to see this, or I'd like to see that, or would have been good if Paul talked about this or that, that will really help me, and it will help the group too. So please feel free to share your ideas there. Okay. All right, we'll just run through some of the things that we've got here now. So the more organised session, yeah, absolutely. Very useful and insightful. Thank you. That's great. I think you're giving your time and having these learning sessions is enriching lives. Thank you. That's great. Thank you. And that's what it's all about. So, okay, seeing next time, let's set a goal for the team so that we can try out a few things and come prepared. Absolutely. Vote on that one. Okay. Basic background in Jira and Confluence, how it's used back then compared to now. Yep, awesome. Some common mistakes you've seen when people are setting up Jira for the first time, and common mistakes I've made as well. I've made plenty. Yep. Using coaching in our using Confluence in our coaching world. Have you used it to inform the team or even team pages? Yeah, brilliant. Maybe I'll grab out some templated pages from things that I've done previously, and I can demo those in a meetup. Thanks for the access so we can plan on our own and learn by doing. Brilliant. Yeah. You're making positive change in people's lives and community members. More power to you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Brilliant. Now we've got 5 minutes left. So that's our retro. Slack collaboration and support. So I showed. I might just share a different screen here. Stop sharing for a second. I'm just going to share my screen. Sorry, I've got windows everywhere here. I've got 3 monitors going. I think I've confused myself. Okay. All right, so I'll share that one. Okay, so in this Slack instance, so it's just under Integrity Works. I've just got a channel here, and it's private, right? So in this Slack instance, you'll be able to see other people who are in here, but not anybody can get access to this channel. So there is some sense of security there and privacy if you want to ask questions, that sort of stuff. And then, as I said before, you can also message me directly if you want to, either via Slack, email, Meetup, or LinkedIn. Any of those are fine. Okay, and so yeah, I sort of see Slack as being an opportunity for people to continue the learning after the meetup's finished and to collaborate as well. So I'm just going to have a quick look at chats here. Okay. Okay, so question, is the chat contents persistent after the session's concluded? Not by default, no. So if people want to copy the chat content, just do a Control-A and copy it into a notepad or something like that. You can do that. Last time, because I'm new at running meetups and Zoom and all that sort of stuff, I ended the meeting a little bit too fast and lost some of the chat stuff myself. So yeah, grab the content there now. The links that I've shared in here, I will share via a direct message to everybody after the meetup as well. So should get that. Okay. And we've just got a couple of minutes left now, so I'm going to stop sharing and just go back to gallery view. Okay. Screen. Okay. And this is your opportunity now. If there's questions that you want to ask or any suggestions, anything that I've missed that you would have liked to have seen, etc. Yeah, please feel free to take yourself off mute now and ask away. That'd be awesome. So I've got about 2 minutes left. How did you all find it? And what are you thinking?
It's not really a question, but thank you so much, Paul, that you could just spare your time. I think that's incredible for us all to learn.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I look forward to learning some of the tools. I've seen the meetings, so I do a lot of workshops. So this is exciting. I've done lots of waterfall projects. I led a few agile, so I look forward to learning.
Awesome, no worries, and that's a really good point, and thank you so much. And I think the privilege is mine, right? Because it's 200 people have signed up to this thing that I started, and it's not a reflection on me; it's a reflection on the people, and it's a great honour to me. So thank you for your time. Yeah, on Agile in general, certainly, if there's, if you want any help or discussion with, or even just bouncing ideas and thoughts off stuff on Agile in general or Scrum or whatever, please feel free to sing out. Now, Linda, you're a certified licensed Scrum Master and licensed Product Owner trainer. That's right, or almost there.
I've got to co-train with Jeff Sutherland 2 more times before I earn it. So
That's brilliant.
That's the nerve-wracking part. So
I'm sure.
Yeah, we had them scheduled, but we went in January to Cambridge in Massachusetts, and everything happened with COVID. So, of course, him and Arlene, his wife, canceled their European engagements and the co-trainings. There was several of us that needed trainings, but about 2 steps away.
Almost there.
Yeah, I'm going to be working with a couple of the trainers. We're doing a virtual July 20th, and every bit of the money's going to be donated to COVID. So it's going to be really interesting. There's about 7 of us that are doing it. So I've been asked to co-train with them. So I'm excited to be part of the giving.
That's brilliant. Yeah,
thank you.
Awesome. No worries. Yeah, so now, Kudzi, is that how I pronounce your name?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, cool. No worries. Awesome. Yeah, so there's lots of people in the community who've got great experience with Agile as well, and you'll find that they're all approachable. So there's no such thing as a silly question. Joseph, thanks for joining us. Jose, Vineet, and Kate, thank you so much as well. And look forward to talking to you all next time.
Great. Thank you, Paul.
Right.
You're wonderful. Have a good night, everyone. Or a good morning.
No worries. All right. Thanks all. Yeah, I'm just going to copy my chat before I lose it. Cool. Thanks, guys.